This is your show.
It was. It's not now. Hello, everybody. It's Jerry from Vibe Time with Jerry with my special guest, Spirit Mechanix. We were talking, so I forgot that we had to start. How y'all doing?
Pretty solid, all things considered. Yeah.
My co-host, David Flowers, is off tonight. He owes me one. He's fired. He is off tonight, so it'll just be myself and Raymond, and I don't know what y'all's names are. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm Pat.
I'm Steve.
Hey, Pat and Steve. So that's who we have on tonight. So how are y'all doing? I'm trying to get it to where we're having trouble streaming to Facebook.
Oh no.
Well, seems to have that issue lately.
It really has been. We had
have y'all had that issue too?
Yeah, just recently, actually, with our last Thursday's live.
What happened with it?
We went live with StreamYard, and then it wouldn't kick the live out on Facebook. So we went live and never quit going live, even though we quit going live. So our Facebook page perpetually for about 16 hours said that we were live when we were not. We could still go on the page, but it still advertised that we had a live stream going.
Okay. Well, evidently David Flowers, my co-host, sees it, and Renee. Hello, Jeremy.
I did share it out on our end. I have it shared out on Spirit Mechanix and my profile as well. So we are sharing out.
That's what I'm trying to do right now on mine. So I apologize. It should have went to my page too, but it looks like that it didn't. So good evening. How's everybody doing? I appreciate everybody that's tuning into Vibe Time with Jerry, and the fact that Spirit Mechanix has taken their time out of their busy schedule to come on our podcast. We always are looking for guests to come on. So if y'all can think of any guests that would like to be on our show, we'd greatly appreciate it. It's not always easy finding people.
No, it's not. Not always. So we'll definitely keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. So tell us a little bit. I did read y'all's bio, and I put it out on Vibe Time with Jerry. How long have y'all been together as a team?
About a decade. We're rolling into our 11th year.
Oh wow!
Next year will be our 11th year. So yeah, it was actually yeah. I had to make sure I had my years correct. Because we had started in, at least as a team, we had started in 2014, that March. And it's been rolling ever since. So come March next year, it'll be 11 years.
Gosh, that's a long time. Old timers.
You have no idea.
As people come into the comments, I'll say hello to them, and I do read their comments. Jeremy Lefevre says old timers. He's off from Beyond the Badge Paranormal.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, if y'all don't know him, their team is based out of Newport News, and it consists of firefighters, EMTs.
That's awesome. That's
so
cool.
it's an awesome team. If you haven't met them, they have a YouTube channel. They just did a couple episodes that are coming out on from the Manor House. So it's going to be really cool.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Yes, no problem. David Flowers says, where are y'all out of? Kentucky, right?
Yep, we're Kentucky. Most of us, anyway, are Kentucky homegrown. This one's a transplant from Texas. But we're based out of Lexington, Kentucky, so central Kentucky. And we're pretty much literally everywhere within the state at this point, aside from a couple members in Nebraska. We've got...
He just popped in.
That's hilarious. What's up, Keith? I'm talking about you. But we've got a couple members out in Nebraska. We've got trainees in Ohio and Connecticut, and people that we trust to do things down in Florida and Minnesota. We're kind of like a fungus. We've grown, and we're in weird places. But the majority of the teams here in Kentucky.
That's really cool. I know a team that I'm on, New Jersey Rope, they have distant members all over the place. And I think that's pretty cool when a team grows that big and they have people spread out everywhere.
Agreed.
So,
it's a good team.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like it is. I was reading some stuff about metaphysical. So do y'all, I'm sure y'all do your paranormal investigations, but do you focus more on that or?
It's a little half and half. We do a little bit of everything. Everything from public and residential investigations all the way up to we do monthly events. There's one that we typically do, the Central Kentucky Mystical Market in Lexington. We usually do that every month. And then there's one out in Bowling Green that we're going to be doing at the end of this month. But we usually do those kinds of events, do energy work, past life regressions, soul fragment retrievals, chakra cleansings, attachment removals, different things like that. And then, of course, we do paranormal consultation, house blessing, and evacuation of unwanted guests, so to speak.
Yeah, it's not always the easiest thing to do, but some of them just want to stay there.
True. True, very true.
Well, so where are some places that y'all have went out and investigated? Are you open to sharing some of those places where y'all have been? Interesting places or?
Yeah. It's a local place in Cynthiana, but it's the Roz Opera House. I have to say that's probably one of my favorites. We actually ended up going live there last October. Was it, Raymond, with Global Ghost Hunt?
We did that for the May event this year.
Bobby
Mackey's we were live at last October.
That's right. So the Roz is probably my favorite, even over Bobby Mackey's, just because I really love the fact that you get as much evidence there as you do. Everyone there is super nice. You don't really have to deal with anybody who's a bit of a problem or more of an unwanted guest like we were talking about a second ago. It's a very fun and lively crowd, and they know us there, so it's always great investigating. It's a lot more of a, hey, welcome back. We're glad to see you again. Let's play some music. Let's have a fun time, rather than anybody popping up with any issues.
Hey, Linda. Well, that's really cool. Y'all, what type of equipment do you use when y'all go out?
That's a question for Mr. Raymond.
We use a lot of the standard, audio, video. That's one of my bread and butters. If I can catch it video or catch it, the audio, then I've got something. A lot of trigger objects like the cat balls, we use those a lot. An instrument called the static vortex dome, which works off natural EMF, so it's like an EMF detector, but it's just a little box. Actually, I have one right over here.
I was gonna say, what is that? I want to see.
I'll show you. Hooray for having my equipment all over my bed. It's like this, and you turn it on, and it lights up different colors going around it. Depending on which side they're on.
And so it's pretty awesome to be able to use because it's got different colors around it. It can be a, hey, if possible, if you want to do this again, or as a confirmation, we can have them touch everything all the way to the green or the blue or the red. So it's just another way to use the tool in a way to interact.
I was going to say, that looks very interesting because I don't think I've ever seen one of those.
I have 2 of them.
Cool. Do you make them? Or does
What is
somebody
it?
else make them? I said, do you make them or does somebody else make them?
Is a company called Vortex. You can order them online. They're like $85-$95,
I
but
see.
they're worth the price. You know, like I said, I've got 2 of them. I use them a lot. I've got the black one there. I've got a blue one as well that I got for Christmas last year. I also like the Spirit box.
Mhm.
I have a couple of those. And the way we'll use them is we'll do, yes, David. We'll do the Estes method, but we'll have the second one running as well. That way we can try to hear the same thing that they're hearing through the headphones while we're asking
Right.
questions.
That's really cool. It's always nice having different people on the show so that we can find out some of, what different teams use, because not everybody uses the same thing. We learn something new. A lot on our tours and stuff, we use the SB7 box, and I always keep a body camera, hey Ronnie, on at all times because you never know what's going to happen. Hey Ronnie, Hey Paul Shields, there's some people coming in the comments that I can't see, and I apologize because the show is spread out on my page. Well, it looks like it should have been spread out on my page, but for whatever reason, it didn't spread out on my page, Vibe Time and other places. So I got a big warning sign online that it's not sharing there. So y'all might have to, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I got things on my page. I don't know.
Another fun little thing I like to use, if it's powered up, it might not be powered up enough. One of them might be. There we go. It's just a little sound bar. And when you talk, obviously it lights up. So when you stop talking and it lights up, you get to ask why.
Oh, that's cool. I wouldn't have thought about that.
That was a fun little idea I had one day. I was like, hey, let's get those and try them out. And I've set an entire hallway up with them because I have like 8 of them. So I'll run them all the way down the hallway.
That's really cool. I mean, I know I have those little closet lights, when you walk past it or open it up, it's a motion detected long light, about that long, fluorescent lights. I've got that downstairs. It's motion detected. So, and that's pretty cool. Well, I'll take that sometimes, but that's in my, how do I put it? Paranormal graveyard, if you will, of equipment, because what I'm finding is that I like my recorder.
Oh, yeah. The recorders are some of the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that all the stuff that I've purchased, I'm going, oh my gosh. And I've got a big arsenal downstairs.
Those are, I usually have about 4 of them per investigation.
That's a neat idea, though. I wouldn't have thought about that. That's why I like having, like I said, different people on the show, because you can find out what they use. And that's really, really cool.
And then I've got a little thermal camera that plugs into your phone.
Oh, nice. So you're all about the equipment and the gadgets.
I do like my gadgets. I have more than enough toys, but I'll probably buy more because that's how I am.
I do the same thing. I'm always looking for gadgets. Now you're going to make me go out there and buy a sound bar.
You're welcome.
Thanks. So what got y'all? Go ahead.
Oh, I started saying I got 8 of those for like $30 on Amazon. So
that's cool. Amazon is the place to go when it comes to stuff like that. No. What got y'all into the paranormal field?
Raymond, you want to start with that one?
Sure. I started experiencing things at a young age, and it was just, growing up in the Bible Belt, especially in Northwest Ohio. That wasn't exactly something you could openly talk about, because it's either God or the devil. There was no in between.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I better keep this to myself. So I did. And as I got older, the experiences became, Keith, Ohio, became more frequent and different. And eventually, and I had open heart surgery at one point, and everything rocketed. There were shadow people in the house staring around the corners of rooms at me. My brother was there. He saw it. We both went looking for it, couldn't find it. People walking across the yard when there was nobody. And eventually I joined my first team in 2010, 2011. And then life happened. I took a long break. I went back in 2021, Texas, and had an experience there. And that was kind of the turning point. I jumped on the train and I never left. So we're going. It's been parents.
That's really cool.
I bought a really haunted house and didn't understand what was happening. Didn't know what was going on. So that's kind of what got me started, because I went looking for answers that I could not. There was no possible way that any of this shit was happening, and wound up finding Spirit Mechanix. But yeah, super haunted house.
And we've been stuck with her since.
Oh
my goodness. Every day is its own set of challenges. I was born blind. I'm legally now due to surgeries, so I've got enough sight to know that I can't see. But I was actually born blind, and as a kid, I still saw things. And even when they took the lenses out, because it was congenital cataract, so they took the lenses out of my eyes, I saw everything like a kid's finger painting, except for light sources, some movement, and color. It was literally just swaths of color. And certain things just came in crystal clear. I thought it was normal until, later on in life, when I started kind of going through the early stages of puberty and getting my lenses implanted. So the new lenses that gave me the sight that I've got. And then realizing that, no, that's not fucking normal, because not everybody's doing that. It kind of went from there into me doing the same. Not really getting answers at church. I grew up in the church, not really getting answers in the church for the things that I was experiencing, or the things that I could quote unquote do. And I finally decided to, when I was in my very early 20s, I decided to go ahead and leave the church. And I haven't really looked back since then. Trying to find what it is that I can do with what I got. I was found, I guess is the correct word. I was found by my master, the person that taught me when I was still in high school, and taught for several years in energy alchemy. And I wanted to put what I had learned and what it is that I could do to good use. And I always had a dream as far as having a team that was able to do things, basically, the superhero team. You grow up and you have those kinds of aspirations as a kid, and it was a place that was safe for people who had uh, abilities or questions or paranormal incidents and things like that were going on in their lives and with them. Uh, I wanted a team that was a safe space, a place where people could learn or
Mhm.
talk or get some kind of support, because those were things that a lot of us didn't have. And 2014 was the decision. It was me, my wife, a founding member, Brian Gibson, and another member who is no longer with us, at least as far as being a member.
Mhm.
Uh, we decided to just go for it, and we called it Spirit Mechanix, and it just became this roller coaster ride into something that we never thought it was going to become, because we just wanted to stay in the corner and help people that came to us. And we got the opportunity to work with some bigger names and go all over the United States doing what it is that we do. And I mean, we've been very blessed to be able to be a service to people. So it's I guess I'm living the paranormal dream, so to speak.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah. And where'd you come up with the name? Because it's an interesting name.
It was a kind of an interesting thing, because we were coming up with a name, and we were like, well, we don't want to do the cliche stuff, because everybody's, spirit of this, or talking with, the spirits, or, communing with, you know, your guides, or, energy this, or,
Mhm.
aura this. And we were like, we don't want to do the standard.
Right.
And my wife, before she started at the hospital, worked machine parts. She worked car parts for the longest time, and all of us had junker cars at that point in time. And it became this whole thing of, well, why don't we just talk about it like it's a mechanic shop? Because what we had designed, the stuff that we do in public, is literally, okay, you come in, you get your chakras fixed, you get your aura fixed, and we do a quick reading, make sure you're doing okay, remove attachments, and send you on your way. It's like a paranormal pit crew. So Spirit Mechanix was literally the thing. And uh, our first logo, we did, a white dragon, the white tribal dragon that was known for a while. And then it went into gears, like clockwork gears. So mechanics, as in, mechanical workings. And then we were like, it's not enough. We need to be a little bit more on the nose. So, previous to what we currently have, our favorite logo of the time, and everyone's favorite that we've known, it was literally, we had set it up like a biker club's cut. So we had the symbol on in the middle, Spirit Mechanics, and then the two double crescent wrenches crossed behind it.
Oh,
And
cool.
that it stuck for the longest time. And then we were like, well, I guess we kind of need to be adults. So we got the new logo after that.
Yeah, because when I first saw the name, I was like, are they mechanics? That was the first, because I didn't know. When you're thinking about mechanics, that's what you're thinking about. You're not thinking about anything else. But that's really cool how y'all came up with that.
It was completely on a whim, and it just fit. We're all of us, aside from, like I said, a few people who are out of state, and those who are transplants. We're all hill folk, Kentucky. Most of us grew up in the mountains or in a holler, and we're trying to stay true to form, regardless of what it is that happens. We're Central Kentucky rednecks through and through, and it just seemed to fit us more than the standard, spirit this, ghost that, or this, energy that. It's like, nah, let's call it like it is. Come in and get your chakras did. It's about the same as getting an oil change.
Yeah, that's true. They do have to be balanced every so often if you want to be running smoothly.
We should rent out a garage.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And then just, schedule appointments that way. Why not?
I mean, the thought has crossed my mind to get one of the big bay, one of the big bays and do a shop out of that. The thought has crossed my mind.
Yeah, you can, lift them up on
Remove
a
the
table
car lift and put Reiki tables in there so we can lift them up at the height we need them.
Yeah,
that sounds oddly awesome. if we're just being awesome about it, yeah.
They do have table lifts like that now, because I know my girlfriend, she's a massage therapist. She's got one, you just push the button and it lifts up. It's on a lift. It's really cool, and it goes with the person's height. I'm like, that is so cool looking. I know there are thousands of dollars, but it's still a neat table.
It'd save the back.
It would save
the back.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's really cool. So so when people need chakra work, is it people that have called y'all for help? How does that work? Like with me, I schedule my appointments. So how's that? Do you do the same? Because I don't know.
So he's pointing at me because that's usually the stuff that I help schedule. We do it a couple of different ways. So we have people that call in, and usually it's a request for either something like spiritual work, or sometimes it's a house visit. That depends. But you can always reach us on Facebook as far as that goes, or our Google Voice, and we will get you scheduled and to see if you have a requested mechanic you're wanting to see, or if you're wanting a home visit. We do also have a shop here. That's actually where we're at today in Lexington, off of East New Circle. So that's an option as well. We take walk-ins, but we also do the local markets. So people will kind of walk up or find a way over to us. It just seems like I need to be over here and I don't know why. And okay, take a seat. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Let's sit down. Let's have a talk. Yeah.
So do y'all get a lot of people going through the local markets?
That's where we've met some of our favorite clientele and some of our more serious clientele as far as what they had going on. Right. Oddly enough, was this monthly gig. We've been doing it as long as we've been a team. So it, geez, that makes me feel old to think about that now. Almost 11 years of the monthly gig. And it's been some of the most rewarding work because, people will bring their kids, this is the person I told you about, or people will bring their new significant other or their spouse or a family member, these are the ones that I talk to. Maybe they can do something for you. And it's just really humbling. It's a very family oriented kind of atmosphere. And that's one of the things that I've always dug about it personally. I don't know about them. I don't speak for them, but
Right.
But
is it like a farmer's market type thing, or is it, because that's what we have here? I don't know what y'all have there.
Think of it think of it kind of like a mini convention.
Okay.
So, a couple of the hotel ballrooms that we do it out of, it's usually at the Clarion Hotel here in Lexington. But a couple of the ballrooms are rented out and turned into a giant showroom. And intermixed is different vendors as far as like stuff like altar supplies or stones and crystals, different homemade goods, different foods, stuff like that. And then you have different readers and workers like ourselves.
Gotcha.
yeah, different tarot readers, different Reiki practitioners, astrologists, different things like that. So it's kind of an all-encompassing kind of hangout spot with a bunch of weirdos.
I would blend in just fine. I'm just as weird. Yeah, I had thought about doing some of the farmers markets here because we have second Saturdays here. I'm in Urbana, Virginia, which is about 458 people in our town. But I'm always working somewhere else, so I can't. Can never get to second Saturdays as much as I want to, or our farmers markets, because I'm always on my way to the Haunted Museum, the place that I work at on the weekends.
That sounds like a fun time job, though.
Yeah, it is. It's very it's a 1766 Scottish factor store. That's the last standing in the country. So everything in the building is original with the exception of a few boards that we had to replace. We are home of the John Mitchell map, which is a 1755 $250,000 map that we have hanging on our wall. If you like maps, it's a first edition. So it was John Mitchell's first edition map. He used to practice medicine in Urbana, and then he got sick, so he ended up moving to England. And then the Earl of Halifax asked him if he could draw him a map. And he was like, sure, I can do that. So he compiled different maps from different colonies, and he came up with the John Mitchell map. So the town of Urbana just happened to get the first edition, third on the plates map.
That's cool.
So it's really, really cool. It sat on the back of our bank wall for about 2 decades where you could actually walk up and touch it. And that's what it got weathered. It had a big hole in the middle of it, and they rolled it up and chucked it into hurricane storage because here we have like a little hurricane storage room. So they just rolled it up and threw it in there.
Oh,
and then this lady, she pulled it out and she was like, she unrolls it. She's like, I think we need to get this looked at. So we ended up sending it to Richmond, Virginia, where the 3 ladies restored it, and it's $250,000.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of cringing. I'm like, no, no, that's not what you do.
I would investigate there.
Yeah, it's very it's a very interesting place to be because I will just be sitting there, and the chimes, we have an alarm system that, when somebody walks in, the door chimes. Well, the door will chime out of nowhere. I've had full-blown conversations that I hear downstairs, and I'll go outside because we are a port town. So we have people that actually sail here, and then they'll come up our hill and go into town and get all their goods and go back down. So I always have to walk outside to make sure it's not, somebody coming up the hill talking. And then I'll walk around the building to really make sure that I'm debunking everything. So I've heard children giggle, phantom smells of cigar smoke sometimes. It's a tiny building, but it's an interesting building.
I'd be down for it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And we are home of the Oyster Fest. So we do have the Oyster Fest the first weekend in November, where we run 88,000 people in our small town for 2 days.
Damn.
Oh,
About a 7-hour drive, Steve.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's packed. It's packed. They're like packed little sardines.
We could do that.
About a 7-hour drive.
Yeah. I think I drove through Kentucky when I was on my way to Fort Lost in the Woods. I think I did have to drive through Kentucky because I don't know my areas that well over on that side because I very rarely go there. But I had to go. My son was graduating basic training, so I had to go to Fort Lost in the Woods. So I drove through somewhere to get there.
Fair.
I mean, I didn't know where we were going. I just knew that I was a mom that wanted to go watch her son graduate. That was all. So I just went. I drove literally straight
what
through. I think we slept 3 hours and that was it. Got stuck at Fort
Been there,
Lost in the
done that.
Woods.
Mhm.
Yeah. When they say lost in the woods, they really mean that because there is nothing there.
It sure isn't.
There isn't.
It sure
Now,
isn't.
dumb question, but how far do y'all live from there? Because I have no clue. I don't.
That depends on how fast you drive and how little you care about getting caught.
Well, I did get caught. I did. I got pulled over. But that was in Indiana. I was going 82
We're
in a 70.
well, that's not too bad.
No, he was really nice to
Yeah,
me. He was
I
so
drove faster than
sweet.
that.
When he said, "Can I have your license, ma'am?" I just looked at him. I said, "Here you go." He
Yeah.
knew I was tired, and so he let me off with a warning. He was really nice.
Well, that's good.
That's cool of him.
Where is Fort Lost in the Woods?
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Oh, I have that answer for you. Okay, that is making sure.
That's why I was laughing because I thought you knew what she was talking about. That's the reason why, like, it depends on how fast you're going and how little you want to get caught.
I'm in there in 8 hours.
That's not too bad.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
from here, if you're somewhat being cautious, yeah, 7-8 hours. If you're not being cautious,
Sick.
about 6. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like me, Leadfoot.
If Raymond's driving, it takes less time.
That's yes. I told you. We two have a lot in common because we try to beat our GPS times. We were talking about that. I beat mine by 15 minutes yesterday. I was proud of myself.
Yeah.
They have both ridden with me. They know how fast I drive.
Yeah.
But you drive with caution, right? You have a Leadfoot with caution.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay. I hope.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Uh-oh. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
There's a joke that Raymond's car floats. It doesn't touch the ground.
It doesn't.
Missy said, "I've been to Fort Lost in the Woods." Yes, I went there and I ran equipment, and it was very interesting. It was very interesting. The EVP session I did out there, because we were staying at some like military approved hotel on the base.
Yeah.
And there was like this house behind it. I can't remember the name of it, but when I was running the SB7 box, I recorded it. I have it recorded where there was a person that said hello, but it was in my son's voice. It was weird. And all I kept hearing was mom, mom, mom. And it was his voice, but it wasn't him because he was, you know how they pull you back into your barracks. You can only go for a little while. Yeah. It was like a mimicking. And I was like, I've experienced that in my home, but I've never experienced something like that outside of my home. And it was just, it made my hair rise off the back of my neck because it was his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I have that recording. I kept it. And it was interesting how they just started talking in that device right away. And I don't know, just threw me off guard because I wasn't expecting that. But it was to my understanding that particular base had a lot of past history on it because, I didn't even bother looking up the history. But then once I started getting the stuff on the SB7 box, I was like, maybe I better start looking this up and seeing what Fort Lost in the Woods is about.
Well, and they've got a lot of weapons that are like one of a kind.
Yeah.
Or one of 3. And so there's a lot of stuff that's kind of unique about that base. I just didn't. It's haunted. It's all get out.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't realize that. I was picking up little things here and there, but I didn't realize just the background on it. And I could never find there were several cemeteries on the base. Like you would just be driving by a cemetery and I'm like, what the hell? Do I got to constantly hold my breath on all these? Really? Because my mom, when we drive by, we hold our breath. It's a German thing, and she's like, hold your breath. I'm like in the car. So I'm like, gosh, I got to hold my breath 15 times.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting place. And I'll have to go back there if my son goes to sapper school, like they're planning on sending him to maybe next month. Then I don't know if I'm allowed to go to graduation or not. If not, then he'll just fly back to Germany. But because he's over in Grafenwehr right now. But yeah, he said there's some haunted stuff there.
I bet.
He
Guarantee it.
He catches his trains at this creepy train station, and when he flips the phone around to show it to me, it's like it almost looks blown up and decrepit and just ew. And I'm going, this is where you catch your train at? He's like, Mom, it's weird here. And I'm like, So yeah, it's very interesting.
In Germany proper.
Yeah.
No telling.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's a combat engineer. Yeah. Russell said that hooray engineers. Yeah, Graf is kind of freaky. It is very interesting. It's a pretty place from what I can see. So he'll be there until 2027.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he's there forever.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get to pop over and see him and maybe do a little investigating while you're over there.
Yeah, I was thinking that because he said he wanted to go to a few places. There's like a few castles there. Yeah, Russell said been there, did that. Yeah. He's having a good time. He ain't thinking about us. He's having fun.
At least you know he's having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do y'all have anything upcoming? Like, do y'all have a YouTube channel or anything?
We do.
Cool.
Raymond, you want to take that one?
Raymond.
Sure. We do have a YouTube channel. It is, Spirit Mechanix, and we have a couple of things going on there. Obviously, we have our lives that show up on there every Thursday. And also we have a show that we've started called Bridging the Gap, which is, us investigating and taking our methods with meeting the metaphysical with the scientific
Nice
things as far as investigating. So
where do you find that at? Is that on your actual Spirit Mechanix page? Your show?
Go ahead.
The show is only on YouTube, but it is the same link that Raymond just mentioned. You can get there from our Facebook, but it's a lot easier to go straight through YouTube. As far as episodes go, they're kind of when we can get enough evidence together to put the show together.
We're currently in between seasons, so we're compiling more episodes for the next one, hoping to get those started back up either here in the fall or in the winter season of next year. So starting in January, February, hoping to have the next few of them up and ready for you guys. But currently, we're in between seasons, but you can catch the ones that we have out.
We do also do a live every Thursday, like Raymond was saying. So we have a new topic every month. This month's topic is actually ghosts. Thanks, Keith, for putting that in the comments. He linked our YouTube for us.
Thanks, Kiefer.
We do have
Water Mountain.
Yep, a couple of upcoming events as well. At the end of this month, the last weekend, we'll be in Bowling Green at Mama Ruby's event at the Corvette Museum, actually.
Cool.
So that would be really fun. And then in October, we have a really big convention that we do, Scarefest, at Rupp Arena in Lexington. So it's a big horror con that there's a whole bunch of celebrities that come in, and then there's a whole bunch of other vendors. We do a lot more energy work there, but we do have a retail side as well. So we have various different things like tarot and oracle decks and some crystals, all sorts of awesome stuff like that.
Altar supplies and different things. We also do tarot and oracle readings. You can get those at any time. All you have to do is get a hold of us, and they're $25. We go full scale, so 25 for a half an hour, and we do the damn thing for you. Flip cards. I'm trying to think of what else. Here at the shop, we do a lot of the same, but we're also doing classes. So we teach metaphysics as well, because we're just as much of a classroom as anything else.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to be as educated as they can be, and the more educated y'all are, and we are, the better the paranormal community can actually be. And so we do everything from base metaphysics like connectivity and understanding your and other people's auras to more in-depth stuff that we're going to be starting this month. So really intensive 300 level class kind of stuff, talking about sigil work, talking about psychic vampirism, talking about deep dive into chakras, different things like that we're going to have coming up for you guys.
Yeah, that's really cool. My show this month is going to be covering, well, one segment of it, I am going to be covering chakras on the show, because I think it's important that everybody educate themselves. And I think that more and more people are interested in the metaphysical. It's not as taboo as it was, where, you talk to somebody. I still get a look from people, Bible Belt Christy always gives me a look when I start talking about metaphysics and chakras. I got devil's heads, but I think that's awesome, because I think that people need to, they need to know how energy works. I think it's really important. So.
One last thing about classes. You don't have to just sign up for them in person. We'd love to hang out with you, love to meet you, love to see your smiling face. However, we do hybridize a lot of these classes. So you can essentially video call in and take the class from a distance. So you don't.
Oh, that's cool.
So you don't have to be here if you're out of state or even out of country. So.
Now that is on y'all's Spirit Mechanix page, or is that on YouTube?
Those will just be linked through our Facebook. We do those through Discord as far as a hybrid goes. So in person, and then through specific links for people who need the hybrid because they can't be here in person. We will have a bunch of the classes posted by the end of this month. I'll spread out for the rest of the year. That way people can kind of get an idea. We'll do a couple a month, spread it out a little bit. That way it's not, multiple weekends a month learning all sorts of fun metaphysics stuff, because as much as we all love that, the holidays are coming up eventually.
Yeah, but don't you think that when you're teaching the metaphysics part of things like chakras, people need to have time to let that sink into their head?
Exactly.
Because I was thinking Vibe Time with Jerry originally was supposed to be metaphysical. The whole show was supposed to be nothing but metaphysics, but somehow it kind of turned a little bit into paranormal, because I was meeting different paranormal teams, and I was like, okay, they're interesting too, so I want to promote them too. So then I kind of lost light of my metaphysical part of it, and I was like, wait a minute. So I did a drawback, and I'm like, hold on a second. That's how Vibe Time with Jerry came about. It was Vibe Time. And in the beginning, I would talk about crystals and different things. And then, of course, David Flowers, my co-host, came in because I was like, I need a co-host. Come on, David Flowers, you're going to be my co-host. And then it just all went paranormal. And then just recently, I'm like, I need to bring it back down to, you know, chakras and energy work. And so once a month, I'll do a segment on something metaphysical just so that people can have time to absorb. Because I think people can go in a metaphysical overload and then run from it.
Oh, definitely. And plus, I mean, because the spiritual mirrors the physical and the physical mirrors the spiritual, people do need that time to acclimate and adjust. Because if there's no time to attune to what you're doing, it can hurt you both spiritually and physically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but it does all start with the chakras, because if they're not balanced, then everything else starts to fall out of place too.
Right. You're absolutely right. And I agree with you on that. You just feel very, very off if they're not.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
And they crack and go boom, and then they had to be replaced, and it's
that's where Spirit Mechanics come in.
Exactly.
yeah, that's what Spirit Mechanix
Why it's called
in.
what it is.
Absolutely.
Really cool.
Come see us with your busted chakras. We'll help you out.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. So y'all, let me make sure I get the shows right. So Spirit Mechanix, your classes and stuff are going to be on the Spirit Mechanix page, right? And then your other show is on YouTube every Thursday. Do I got it all right?
So we have two shows through the YouTube. One of them is our Thursday Night Live. So that one is every week. And the last Thursday of the month, we actually do free tarot readings. So if someone's wanting, you know, to kind of dip their toe in and they're willing to let us read for them, they're more than welcome to pop into our Thursday night. Our Tarot Night Live is the last Thursday of every month. And we have a bunch of guest readers on occasion, but it's completely free. If people donate stars, then they get bumped to the top of the list and get the option for every reader on the call or in person to read for them. So if somebody is interested in having a tarot reading done or an oracle reading and they're kind of wanting to just test it out, that's always a solid option. And then we do have our paranormal show that we're in between seasons on that is only on YouTube, and that is Bridging the Gap. So everything can be found through our Facebook. It's all luckily linked there. But as far as watching, you can watch either on YouTube or Facebook. We stream through StreamYard to Facebook. So it's that one's solid either way. Our Facebook is always a safe spot.
I know I'm sitting here shocked that my internet didn't go out because normally it does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, normally with StreamYard and my internet, every Tuesday night, it blips out and David Flowers has to kind of sit there and take everything over. And I was really nervous about tonight because I was afraid that my internet was going to start doing the stupid lines that you get on the top where you start to lose your signal. And I'm so glad that it didn't.
I'm glad too.
Yeah, because that would have really sucked. But as y'all know, you live out in the country too, so you know how it goes with the internet. It's just so spotty.
Yeah.
Well,
it is.
On your Thursday night show, this is different locations that y'all have been to then throughout. Is it throughout Kentucky or is it in different states?
So Bridging the Gap is literally currently we're just doing mostly in Kentucky at the moment because there's a lot of haunted places here in Kentucky. I know the Roz is up. I know Bobby Mackey's is up. I think Octagon Hall made it up. I'm not
I don't
sure.
think the Roz has made it up yet.
Okay, so the Roz hasn't.
Part 1 at least has.
Part 1 has. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a couple of the hot spots that are currently up and a couple more that are in production right now. The goal is to start making it to other locations.
Hey, Ryan.
So that's part of the other reason why we're kind of in between seasons is we're looking for places that one are close enough to make it feasible to travel,
Right.
and two, ones that we can currently afford. But we'll have new episodes as we get them.
That sounds cool. Now, are they on a specific? Because I know I watched somebody's live, a paranormal show Friday, and they went live. Is everything pre-recorded with y'all, or
Yeah.
is it a specific time, or they just come and watch it whenever?
So it's usually pre-recorded, and we have a premiere. We'll let you know when the dates are that
Okay.
we'll have them released, and usually it's about one a month. Once the season starts back up, it'll be about one a month, unless we get ahead, and then it'll be two. Um, and usually, we typically don't go live for the show itself, but that doesn't mean that we don't go live on our Facebook or our TikTok or Instagram. You know, we have this real bad tendency to kind of just go, you know what, let's go live in this haunted location. So you never know when some of those are going to pop up. But as far as the show is concerned, yeah, it's all pre-recorded.
Okay. I knew I was wondering that because the show that I watched, I hate that I can't remember who it was on Friday. It was a pretty interesting show, but they did like a premiere of what you're talking about. Because I believe it or not, my dumbass has just learned how to upload my StreamYard into YouTube. Because I didn't know. I didn't know. I'll sit here,
We have
you know.
That
Better late than never.
Yeah. I was like, there's got to be a way to upload this StreamYard into YouTube because David Flowers uses his, I use mine, and then we use the Vibe Time with Jerry page. So I didn't feel like paying extra for it to add YouTube on. I was like, there's got to be a way to do the stupid shit. And then I just downloaded it, and I was like, fuck. It took me this long to learn this. I've been on the air, I don't know, 3 years or maybe 4 now, and I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? So yeah, I'm a slow learner. Y'all see why?
That's okay. At least you learned it.
Yeah,
At least you figured it out.
my blondes came out, and I was like, oh, that's how you do that. Gotcha.
Better late than never.
Yeah, slow learner. I can't help it. But can y'all, well, I guess Keith can do it if he don't mind typing in the name. I know he put the link in there, but if you can type in the name of the YouTube show and y'all's Facebook, that would be fantastic. So that way people that are in the comments, because some of them are my friends on Facebook too, that way they know how to find y'all.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, the show is called Bridging the Gap, and you can find us at facebook.com/Spirit Mechanix.
And if either we can have that tackled after we finish up the show, we can make sure that the link is posted in the comments, or if we're lucky enough to have Keith do it, we would love you, Keith.
Yeah,
they put it already.
Yeah,
attaboy.
Yeah, sometimes people look at the link and they get reluctant to click on it, but that's why I wanted it written in there too, so that people will know where to find you guys.
Thanks, guys. Missy and Keith coming in with the save.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I can't believe time flies already because it is 9 o'clock. Time sure flies. I'm going to be taking this and uploading it to YouTube and uploading it to Spotify, uploading it to TikTok. So it's going to be in 3 different places for everybody to find. And of course, it's going to be on the Vibe Time with Jerry page too. So
awesome.
But I do appreciate y'all taking your time out to come on the show because I know everybody has busy schedules, and it's always nice when people can take their time out to come on Vibe Time and chat with us and let us know a little bit about y'all. And no problem. And I learned quite a bit from y'all actually just in this short time.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. And maybe we can have y'all on again
Well,
when
sure.
y'all
Absolutely.
get your stuff uploaded, or maybe a few months down the road when you get some different, like other places that you'll be investigating that maybe you wouldn't mind talking about.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can just spend a
Working
night
on it.
talking metaphysical. I'm always up for that.
That works for us too.
Yeah, just
Crystals
let
and
us know.
chakras. And
Always
incense.
crystals and chakras. And
And incense. Yeah. So do y'all read auras too?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Aura, energetic flow, flow point, signatures. So basically reading the meridian lines
Mm-hmm.
and chakra readings.
Nice. It's fun when you have other people that do that so that you can, because you can relate to them. As
Yes, ma'am.
opposed to people saying, what are you talking about? What is that? And then you have to sit down and explain everything. Not that I don't mind doing it, but it's always nice when you have like-minded people that know exactly what you're talking about. So I think that's really cool.
Same.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate everybody in the comments. Thank you so much for joining Vibe Time with Jerry. What's next week? The third Tuesday, we'll be having John Stevens from Virginia Paranormal Events on. I had to think there for a second because I'm losing track of my days.
September's flown by.
It sure
Yes, it has. Yeah, sometimes I think the government has something to do with the time flying by as quickly as it's doing because it's just too fast for me. I can't keep up with it anymore.
Let's get through the holidays. January, slower down.
Yeah.
So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you again for having us.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank
y'all
you.
don't forget Spirit Mechanix. Go like them on Facebook, and they've got a YouTube channel and quite a few things that they're doing. So please go like their page and subscribe to their YouTube channel.
We're going to do a horror movie remake.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
If we get 3,500 followers on the Facebook page, we will reenact a horror movie of your all's choosing.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like
the winning movie title is Blair Witch. So
yeah, that
would be interesting. That one would be interesting, I think.
It's going to be a fun time either way.
Yeah. Sounds like fun.
We might have to fight over if one of the other movies wins, who gets to be the villain.
He's ready.
Volunteer tribute.
Right? But thanks again for having us. It was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys coming on the show. Y'all have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Get you, little boy.